and so... Dead air.
I'm trying to get in west, buddy.
How about some music? Let's see.
Play a little music, yeah.
I can't believe you believed me. How easy it was to deceive you all. Your love and admiration in the palm of my hands, and now I'm taking what you love and I'm leaving. You won't know when, you won't know where, but I'm getting out of here. I was frozen in the ice. You gave me shelter, you gave me life. Opened your heart for me to break. Rose up to get you. You stupid old man, I'm a snake. I'm a snake. So throw your hate and despise me. I'm a coward, I'm a liar, I've heard it all before. See, I built this world around you with my own two hands. So now I'm leaving in ashes behind me. They all wanna stop me, but I ain't going down. Set their Messiah on fire. I put the range on the ground, like a king on his throne, with the people at my feet. I am complete. I was frozen in the ice. You gave me shelter, you gave me life. Opened your heart for me to break. Rose up to get you. You stupid old man. I was frozen in the ice. You gave me shelter, you gave me life. Opened your heart for me to break. Rose up to get you. You stupid old man. I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a snake.
Hey, Omega.
Yes, Gunner.
So, in my 6th grade science fair, I was charged with the task of making a battery out of a potato.
In the 6th grade, you say?
Yes, sir. And I believe that potato drew more heat than that fucking tater tot did all fucking his entire career. Let's start the show.
Well, now's no time for joking around. Just quiet down your chatter. The weekend pro wrestling is no laughing matter, baby. From Impact to Raw to SmackDown Blue, you'll be good at math and science if you only listen to Get Serious. Oh, Get Serious. Oh, Get Serious.
Enough! Hello, everybody, and welcome to Woo Get Serious. My name is Gunner. That is Omega BR.
I remember in the 6th grade, I didn't participate in the science fair because I was too busy being cool.
I figured as much. Joining us this week is our wonderful technical producer, Mr. Yankum DDS.
They wouldn't let me participate in the 6th grade science fair because of the, let's call it, unfortunate incident that happened during the 5th grade science fair. And in my defense, they should have had more fire extinguishers.
Well, now we know why you can't go anywhere near the school. And speaking of people who can't go anywhere near schools, we have the Net Jester.
Now, I want to turn this into a discussion about tater tots, because they must draw less energy and less heat than potatoes, and therefore Roman Reigns.
Also joining us this week is an old friend of ours. His name is Vassar. And apparently he's just not here to be there for the entrance at all. How are you, Vassar? Well, he's here, I promise. But joining us this week, especially with our wonderful friends over there on West. Hello, troublemakers. We have the king troublemaker himself. Save us, dog.
I don't prefer king. I prefer god troublemaker. I think is probably the best term.
All right, that works.
But yeah, I didn't do shit for a science fair in 6th grade because I think we had science fairs in like 5th grade. I really don't remember elementary school that well, though, so who cares? I hate science anyway.
Smoke weed every day.
Yes.
All right, so let's get off of this scientific topic here, and let's get started with something that we're pretty much predictable: the news. All right, so news is pretty short this week. Mick Foley's son, Dewey, is being hired as a creative writer's assistant starting in January in a part-time position based on how he impressed officials. One of his tasks will be take scripts of talents and go over their role that night. The reason Kevin Owens missed Raw in the main event last week was due to an illness he and his son suffered as they were traveling. WWE is interested in New Japan star Shinsuke Nakamura, who, despite his age, has a ton of charisma and he speaks English. They may also be interested in Jay Lethal once his ROH contract expires, which is relatively soon. And finally, Tough Enough winner Josh Brettel, now known as Bronson Matthews in NXT. Bronson Matthews. That's an NXT name, all right.
It sure is.
Do you already have a Bronson, or am I confusing him with like Braun Strowman?
Probably, but knowing Vince, he's so old that he thinks Charles Bronson is a name that retains with the American public or something.
I wouldn't, you were joking, but I wouldn't doubt that was a thought that went through Vince's head. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's like Charles Bronson and Death Wish, and people love that movie. That was great when it came out 2 weeks ago." Because Vince is, 45 years behind everything.
Fine, West. I'll pronounce it right. It's Shinsuke Nakamura.
Can we?
There you go.
It doesn't.
It's true. That's the way to pronounce it.
Here's the thing, though. It won't matter, because if they bring him in, they won't do anything with him, because that's what they do with everyone from Japan that they bring in.
They'll name him like Yoshi Tatsu Jr. or something like that.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, and he'll be stuck with some sort of like weeb gimmick where he like carries around a pillow like a waifu or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
You can't do that to the guy who, JR said it himself, a cross between Michael Jackson and the lead singer of Queen, who's also a badass. You can't do that to Nakamura. Who was the lead singer of Queen anyway? I can't remember.
Okay, you need to leave the room. Leave the room.
Oh, dear God.
You're on timeout for 5 minutes.
Is Joey Mercury.
I will burn both your houses to the ground. So let's move on and talk about Jay Lethal.
Well, to me, it's the same thing with Jay Lethal, the same thought that I had with Nakamura. Why the hell would you go to WWE?
Just the money.
Is there a good reason?
Just the money.
The money can't be enough. Like, for Nakamura, he's done. Like, he's going to be thinking about retirement soon, and he's got to be making enough money in Japan just to not.
Oh yeah, he's got to be making enough money in Japan, but at the same
here's
time,
the thing.
Del Rio was making a lot of money too, and the problem is that he's like the number one he's like one of the number one draws over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and one of their only draws, considering they can't build new stars that aren't from another country at this point. I mean, they're building one, and it's Rainmaker over there. But I could see Nakamura coming in for a Brock Lesnar-ish type schedule where he has just so much swag that he just walks in, pins somebody for the championship and walks out, because I guarantee you, even a decrepit, like 50-year-old Nakamura would be better in the ring than pretty much half the roster at this point, or anybody in the main event at TLC this week, which we'll be talking about this week, by the way.
I would just like to go ahead and call it now. Jay Lethal to New Day.
Oh, yes.
Interesting. I want to see a fight between Xavier Woods and Jay Lethal for the leadership of New Day. I would love to see that.
Well, that's interesting because that would actually be them coming back together after that run in TNA. Didn't they have a team?
Yes, it would.
Yes,
they were a tag team.
That's an angle I never thought about, because to me, if you're Jay Lethal, the concern that I would have is, I'm not 7 foot. He might get lost in the shuffle, especially with how much talent is there.
Oh, and New Day is so close to being overexposed, it's not even funny. They're the best thing on the card right now, and they get 15-20 minutes of the show, and it's kind of making me nervous.
No, stop.
I know what you're saying, but I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here, guys. We want to take a step back. But that's pretty much it for that. So,
yeah, apparently,
they saved Team Bad last night. So,
by the way, those unicorn horns that they were wearing last night, the light up ones. Apparently, they sold out in about 5 hours on WWEshop.com.
Damn,
that doesn't surprise me. Because they're awesome.
I kind of just want to point out one thing, though. I love how it's actually news that Mick Foley's son is essentially hired as an intern.
Pretty much,
right?
Well, it's actually kind of interesting when you talk about Foley's recent comments on WWE, or even Dewey's comments. He's made some posts in the past about how Vince and Triple H are kind of out of it. They're the only ones that get to decide anything. They, you've got all this talent, and they have to funnel through the diluted, outdated ideas of two or three people. I mean, and Foley himself has been talking about, he was this close to quitting Raw until 2 weeks ago. He said it was a decent episode, so he stuck with it, but.
Yeah, but I mean, is this ever going to lead to him being on air or being a talent or even doing anything in creative?
Oh, maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, he's at the bottom of the poll for sure. But apparently he's been running a blog where he pitches creative ideas, and that kind of helped get the attention of officials. And so, if he, apparently this is a 3-month stint, till WrestleMania, but if he does a good job, they might actually hire him full-time as an assistant, and then, that's the next step to becoming an actual writer, in which case, all it really takes is somebody to say, hey, I kind of like his ideas,
Right, exactly. And by the way, everybody, don't sit here and think that just because you have a blog, about with your creative ideas is going to get you a job in the WWE. I'm just saying.
Well, speaking of, can I transition? I'm segueing. Speaking of good ideas. Soon after TNA leaves Destination America, the channel will be completely rebranded as a paranormal network thanks to the success of a live exorcism special. GFW World Champion Nick Magnus Aldis is out of action after suffering a torn bicep during a tour of Mexico. PJ Black dropped the GFW Next Gen title due to signing with Lucha Underground. And finally, Rey Mysterio currently has a knee injury, and AJ Styles was pulled from the remainder of the New Japan World Tag League due to his back. Rey Mysterio with a knee injury. In other news, water is wet, the sky is blue, and the universe is ever expanding.
You also forgot NetJester isn't funny.
Oh yeah, and that's even more obvious than any of the other things I said.
So, okay, what you're telling me is that it took Destination America to have a live exorcism special just to get TNA off of their brand. How bad do you think what do you think Pop TV is going to have to do? Literally a live murder or like Manhunt or something like that?
Okay, I don't think the fault lies with TNA here as much as Destination America. If they want to tank their brand by making an all paranormal network, which doesn't even sound commercially viable in the slightest to me, that's up to them. I'm not saying that TNA itself was a commercially viable product. You know, God knows it's trying, and I don't want it to die, but for crying out loud, I mean, if you're going to leave TNA for something what are you going to do? What's your kids' programming going to be? Are you going to run Casper the Friendly Ghosts or Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures, for crying out loud? I mean,
well, like, the one thing that I can guarantee you, though, is that whatever they're transitioning to is going to be way cheaper than whatever they were paying TNA. And they were probably paying TNA nothing, but they're probably just getting reruns and running them and doing an occasional live special. It's like most networks that small are not doing anything too major at this point.
I gotta dumb myself down!
It's like watching all of this, and now mind you, I'm a big fan of some sort of ghost series, ghost show. You know, you show me some of that stuff, and it's really awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but come on, man, Destination America, you didn't even try to get your feet wet with this wrestling thing. You were like, okay, this is too expensive and traumatic. We don't want to do this anymore. We're done.
It's like the classic thing with TV networks is they think it's going to bring in big ratings for no money, and you'd still have to, like, it's not necessarily how that works anymore.
Oops,
Exactly.
Wrestlers past.
By the way, PJ Black got that next gen title too. Sanjay Dutt.
So does GFW have, like, a TV deal yet?
No, I don't think they do. I think they have something in the works, and they were in talks, but I don't think they have a solid deal yet.
Well, I'm excited for PJ Black and Lucha Underground, I guess.
And has anybody heard anything along the lines if GFW will be doing the same thing to New Japan Pro Wrestling's premiere show, the oh God, and then I space on the title.
We already answered this question.
When?
A second ago, though. We don't know if there's going to be a TV show. They were in talks. That was the thing. They're trying to shop around the show that they
TV show, not the TV show for the pay-per-view of oh God, number 10. What?
Wrestle Kingdom number 10.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh my God.
Yes. I mean,
Jester, sometimes you say really smart things, and then there are other times like today.
I'm getting a little bit screwed up, but the Wrestle Kingdom 10 was good last year when the GFW simulcast it with JR and, of course, Matt Stryker, so I was wondering if they were going to do it again.
I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about it. So, while the entirety of West is cringing, and all of our listeners are too, let's cringe right into our favorite segment, the 15-minute time limit. This week on the 15-minute time limit, we're going to be talking about the TLC show, and we're going to do some predictions. 4down.org if you want to go if you want to go make some predictions with us. But this week we're going to talk about these predictions. So here we go. For those of you,
ring the bell, by the way.
for those of us who don't know what this segment is, we're going to talk 15 minutes straight, pretty much, about the next pay-per-view. And we're going to do some predictions, so we'll go down the line here, and we'll talk about the Dudleys, Tommy Dreamer and Rhino versus the Wyatt family in an 8-man elimination tables match. As I said that sentence, I don't know if you could hear this over my microphone or anything, but my face started cringing just a little bit more, because it's an elimination tables match. Not is it just an elimination tag match, but it's an elimination tables match for no reason whatsoever.
No, because Extreme.
Well, at least
Obviously.
it has a chance to be entertaining because I'll see some people go through tables.
Gratuitous table spots incoming.
Well, yeah, I mean, what else do you really want out of this fucking match? This is going to be just a shit show, and I can't believe... At least, it'll be fun. It'll be some destruction, and at least it fits in with the fucking gimmick.
It's true, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I'd rather see the Dudleys and the two of the Wyatt families in the ladder match or the Dudleys in the ladder match for the tag team titles, as opposed to being in some stupid blood feud with some stupid family.
Look,
bringing back other family members.
Gunner, you can't always get Citizen Kane. Sometimes you have to get Last Action Hero.
Hey, Last Action Hero was good. I enjoyed Last Action Hero.
You have to just... I mean, it's a dumb, stupid thing, but there's all kinds of shit breaking and blowing up, so you can enjoy the shit out of it for that. And that's what this match is. It's Last Action Hero.
All right, who wins? Go down the line.
The Wyatt family.
I mean, they have to put the Wyatt family over for this, don't they? For fuck's sakes.
Yeah, not really. I mean, they've lost every other feud. It doesn't really matter at all. They might as well. I'm going to say Team ECW or Team Extreme, as Lillian called them.
Team EV 2.0.
Yeah, there you go.
Ouch! Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Dudleys and Rhino and Nami Dreamer are going to win just because the Wyatts never, ever, ever win.
Pretty much. I'm in the same boat. I think this is going to be the face win to make up for the heel winning in the main event. So enjoy Braun Strowman going through a table via 3D. So that's going to be your big spot of the night. All right, let's move on here. Charlotte versus Paige for the Divas title. Yeah, I'm sure that everybody wants to talk about this match.
This is
Go ahead.
the worst feud in the company.
Dear Lord Jesus, yes.
I'm calling it now, full heel turn for Charlotte, and then nobody knows what the fuck is going on, because none of it really means anything.
Scott Hall just tweeted, by the way, that they should bring in Saraya Knight and put her in Paige's corner. No reaction to that at all.
Well, why not? I mean, why not? That it would be cool, but nothing would happen. It would be cool for about 2 seconds, and then it would be like, well, all right.
I mean,
What's he here for?
What would be actually good is if they had a decently long match and left all the bullshit at the table and just had a good match, but that's not going to happen either. So something's going to happen.
So, I mean, and that's pretty much obvious at this point. I'm expecting exactly the same match that we already saw, where it's kind of overcomplicated, where it's kind of too long, and they're just not going to capture the audience at all. Where is TLC? Does anybody know?
Hold on.
Well, the most important question I think here is, what is Rick Slick gonna do? Woo!
It's in Boston.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's in Boston. So people are gonna shit all over this if it's not good.
Hey, by the way, I think it's hilarious that the sponsors for this pay-per-view are Toys R Us and K Jewelers.
That's definitely a unique mix right there.
I was completely expecting K Jewelers to have their logo on the WWE title for some reason. I mean, is it just me, or is that the only logical sense? Anyone?
I mean, they might have had a hand in making that Divas title. Who knows?
Well, apparently,
there's a lot of bad things I am, but Lingle's not one of them. Hey, wait a minute. Did I just mean to say that?
I don't think you did, but be that as it may, we're live.
That never gets old.
I think it's the fact that allegedly it's engagement season, and I guess they think that they run these ads during wrestling. The guys will go to K to get their engagement memorabilia.
Well, maybe if
How
they
about the ultimate
see-
swerve? How about Paige proposes to Ric Flair?
I was thinking more along the lines of Rusev proposes.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. Rusev proposing again on TV, even though he's already proposed.
And they're already engaged, and it's real life and kayfabe, and everyone knows about it.
Either
Right. All right. We got to move on here. Somebody pick. Make your picks. I got Charlotte winning.
Yeah, Charlotte's going full heel. Shenanigans involving her dad.
Charlotte with her feet on the ropes.
Just Charlotte, probably Ric Flair somehow. Who cares?
Oh, just to be contrarian, Paige with some sort of shenanigans.
Vassar.
What about you, Vass?
Charlotte.
Yeah, it figures as much. All right, we got Del Rio and Swagger in a chairs match for the U.S. title. How about that chair shot on Raw?
Oh man.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't take chairs to the head anymore on account of concussion worries, but if oh, geez, that was just... Anyway, I'll again say that third-party shenanigans is going to be interesting to see if, for no other reason, how badly Zeb Coulter, now that he's been more or less brushed off, goes against ADR in the match.
Well, here's the thought. He's riding around on that scooter, which has a chair on it.
That would
Pretty much.
technically be a chair shot.
So, like, I'm interested to see if they'll get involved, because, like, Del Rio's already gotten physical with him at Raw, so that might be cool, and they might do some cool spots. Otherwise, it's Del Rio and Swagger again, though.
But ripping the chair out of Zeb's scooter after knocking him off of it would be the greatest thing.
It would be hilarious. It would be hilarious, the chair and just him beating him with the chair. That would be great.
If historical reports are to be accurate, I could see that as poetic justice that in the past, Dirty Dutch Mantel said, get down on your hands and knees and I'll kick you in the ribs, and now he's getting kicked out of a chair and getting hit with it.
All right, let's make our picks, because this is getting boring.
Yep, ADR goes over.
I have Swagger, actually, because Coulter makes comes back home to Jack.
Well, even if that does happen, I think Del Rio will win. And kind of an excuse for a chairs match, really.
Well, here's the thing. ADR has to drop the title so that he can go back into the main event.
Yeah, because they're really light on heels.
I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think they're going to stretch the League of Nations out until maybe WrestleMania, just because, why not? They don't really have anything else going.
Yeah, I just got a feeling it's going to be somehow Del Rio goes over, but Swagger's going to have a rematch down the line, or have a reason to have one.
I want to see Swagger win just so they can say they took the U.S. title out of the League of Nations.
Right. All right, let's move on here. New Day versus Usos versus Lucha Dragons in a ladder match for the tag team titles. It'll be the best match of the night.
Easily.
The Usos will do some crazy bump. The New Day will do an even crazier thing, and they'll have a great entrance. I'm expecting New Day to go over once again, because somebody will. One of them, Kofi or Xavier, will get on Big E's shoulders as Big E's climbing the ladder, and they'll grab the titles and they'll do something like dirty to get them, or something like that.
Go ahead.
I got a feeling that Kalisto is going to pull something just absolutely crazy off of the top of the ladder into a pile of people.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
Crazy spot from him
Giving you
basically
that
stealing the
already,
show.
of course. That's what I was gonna say. Yes, exactly.
So like that's going to be like the highlight of it, and all of these guys are just they're like hungry to put on a good match, and ladder matches are very rarely bad with tag teams. It's hard to find one that sucks.
The second I saw Kalisto in NXT, you could pretty much hear the wrestling god scream from on high Mount Olympus, "Put this man in a ladder match." I was about to say chairs. I need some food. Anyway, yes, he's going to be absolutely magnifico in this freaking ladders match, and you can take that to the bank because, he just is amazing normally when he does his shit in the ring, and you add a ladder.
Make your picks, boys.
New Day retains shenanigans as usual, and it continues to be fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta say the New Day. I have this gut feeling that the Usos are gonna somehow like win, but I just want that to be wrong, so I'm gonna say New Day.
Yeah, I would think with all the hype and the exposure and the merchandise that they would keep them on New Day for a while, but I'm gonna say Usos too.
Dear God, I hope not.
Tag Team Cena's.
I'm gonna say New Day, and Sin Cara's gonna find some way to trip climbing up the ladder.
He's gonna slip. I got you on that. I could totally see that happening. Speaking of things that you could totally see happening, when Kevin Owens wasn't on Raw this week, I could actually see it. But enough of these fat jokes. Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose for the IC title.
Well, it has been pretty much every time. I think so. Not that title means a whole lot right now, but sure, why not?
I'm kind of torn on this one too, to be honest with you, because on the one hand, Kevin Owens as the prize fighter and Intercontinental Champion kind of puts him in that position of having some importance. On the other hand, not really, because like every other Intercontinental Champion, he hasn't really done anything. And it's kind of that factor of, Roman and his family. If the Usos are the tag champions and Ambrose is the Intercontinental Champion, then Roman, being the odd man out, going for that world title,
Yeah, I think whoever wins this match will be out of contention for winning the Royal Rumble next month.
Well, no doubt. Like, to me, the thing is, if Owens retains, then you can pretty much book it all the way to WrestleMania that he'll keep the belt. And at some point soon, Sami Zayn is coming back and debuting, probably at the Royal Rumble, knocking him out, and we're going to see that fight at Mania.
I don't know about that.
About time.
I don't know
I'd
about
be
that. There's
more than okay
rumors
with that.
going around that it's going to be Owens and Lesnar.
That would be cool to see, too, but I don't know.
I think that's idle water cooler talk, maybe between writers. I don't think that's going to end up being an actual thing. There's no real cause for it, or I mean, I'm not against it necessarily. I'm just saying it's kind of one of those things like, hey, let's put Finn Balor versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
I would watch that.
It would be fun. But,
Yeah, this is probably like the most toss-up of the match, and I'm just going to go with Owens because I think he's better.
personally, I'm going to go with Ambrose. I think Owens has had this for a little while now, and he needs to lose it so he can go on his WrestleMania story, which I don't think has anything to do with the IC title. If there is a switch here, which I believe there will be, I could see Owens winning the Rumble as a dark horse. Otherwise, it's going to be Lesnar. I'm pretty sure, or Reigns, one of the two, because they're going to have to give one of them the fucking win.
Yeah, I think either Ambrose or the Usos possibly both are going to win at TLC. And honestly, I think they could do Zayn Owens and do it for Mania and do it in these 3 months because, you know, this is WWE. It's not Ring of Honor. It's not even NXT. You know, I mean, they could push that angle, stretch it out for, you know, WrestleMania season and do the thing.
Speaking of things that we don't want ever stretched out ever again, promo segments with Sheamus and Roman Reigns. Ever again.
Oh God, please no.
No more tater tots. No more funny little quips. No more retarded heels. No more goofy looking heels that want to laugh and make jokes every fucking time they come to the ring. No more baby girls. No more.
It's so funny because the way that Dean Ambrose was portrayed was like that silent. He didn't say anything. He was just a cool dude eating popcorn, threw the water in his face or whatever. Why wasn't Roman Reigns doing that? Because you know he can't talk. It baffles me.
I'd rather suck Steve Rambo's dick. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, Roman Reigns is not The Rock. He can't ad-lib. He can't ad-lib, I mean. He can't...
he can hardly cut a promo sometimes. Even just some of the the ones backstage are so just average.
He needs a script, and he needs to stick to the script. And when I say stick to the script, I mean it's possible that potato tater tot thing was in the script, but then he just kept kind of, oh, look, everybody, we're making the tater tot scared. Okay, tater tot. That's all right, tater tot. Here, I did this for you, tater tot.
As cringeworthy as that promo was, it did succeed in one thing, making me hungry.
I'm not even going to begin
Smoke weed every day.
all the Freudian things that says about you.
I thought
about me.
I didn't realize that if you were Samoan, you had to write your promo on your wrist.
That's racist, maybe.
See, I thought they were really setting up for, you know, Sheamus is playing possum, acting dumb, saying, hey, there's still a table, there's still a ladder, and then Roman gets him out of the ring, and that just sets up for League of Nations to blindside him from behind, and then hold him as Sheamus bro kicks him into a table or with a chair or whatever.
No, Omega BR, that would have been good.
But once you saw those triple tables leaning against the ring, you knew shenanigans was awry.
Yeah, that's exactly when I knew something was up.
Alright guys, we got less than a minute. Make some predictions. Go.
This pay-per-view is going to suck except for 2 matches.
Sheamus is going to win, and we're going to have to put up with Baby Girl saying he wants the title through Mania season.
It's a TLC match.
That's
interference. Sheamus wins.
Okay,
That's it. There's 15 minutes.
Alright, that's it for the 15-minute time limit.
Thank God.
Thank you very much. Alright, guys, let's do this. I want ice cream. You guys want ice cream?
Yeah, let's get some fucking soft serve up in this bitch.
Yeah.
We're going through the
Drive-through.
All right, guys, Dairy Queen drive-through. It's the last little bit of our show. We get some, assorted information to you, like the ratings. And this week with the ratings, I would like Vassar to read the ratings.
Really? And now for the ratings. This week on TNA Impact did 221,000 viewers, down from the 234,000 the week prior. And SmackDown, 2,044,000 viewers, up from the 1,652,000 viewers the week before. And finally, Raw. Raw was relatively down from last week, as it did a 3,054,000 viewers, which is down 4% from the week prior, but only 3% less from the November 23rd episode.
I gotta say, that number for Raw is extremely disappointing, considering how god fucking awful the Monday night game was.
Yep. And that game was awful. Like, I never want to watch an NFC East game again for the rest of my life.
Like, ironically, until Raw was over and you switch over and it's 9-9, and then Jackson fumbles that ball, and then all that other stuff happened.
Exactly. All right, with the birthdays, it's Net Jester.
And with the birthdays for this week, we start off on the 8th, and Mr. 630 Jarrell Clark, followed by none other than the coal miner himself, Michael Cole and Jimmy Rave. Then on the 9th, we have the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. On the 10th, we have S.A. Rio / Mr. Aguilar. Plus Mr. Still Employed himself, JTG, El Mephisto, and Michael Shane. On the 11th, we have Doug Furnas and the one, the only Le Parca. Kudos to you, Chairman of WCW. On the 12th, we have King of Diamonds, Eddie Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Sabu, and... Seriously? I did not know there was a wrestler just named Junior. Okay. Anyway, on the 13th, we have the legendary Junkyard Dog. Heel down. I did not mess up the pronunciation of Junkyard Dog. Anyway, continuing on, Boris Zukov, Fireza Guerrera, and somebody that was just written in at the last second called Homer Sexual Jones. Yeah, I believe he's a real wrestler.
He is. It was Mid-South, right, Gunner?
In the 70s.
No, it wasn't Mid-South. It was the one run by the brothers in Texas.
Oh, God.
Oh.
You guys stop. You're just in...
It was in the 70s. And the big... You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I found your joke, wrestler. But to continue, on the 14th, we have Ultraviolet Ultraviolet? God.
Ultra-violent, you illiterate.
Ultra-violent Terminator, Brain Damage, which I should probably check myself for after this podcast. Then we have Kangaroo. Damn. All right, Kangaroo Al Costello. Really? Okay. I never knew there was a Costello in wrestling. And finally, Johnny Jeter.
Hey, Netchester.
Yes?
There isn't a wrestler named just Junior. It's Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh, so instead of Junior at the end of his name, we should have put my left foot or knee or something? Oh, now you get rid of that freaking colon or...
It was a comma, and you should have been able to read it without it.
Some days.
Junior anymore.
Can we do This Week in Wrestling History?
Now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Omega BR.
Yes, this week in wrestling history, circa 1995, where Tarzan Goto and Mr. Ganosuke defeat Cactus Jack and Tiger Jeet Singh in the finals of a tournament in Saitama, Japan, to win the NWA World Tag Team Championship, which was being revived by the IWA promotion. However, the belts would be vacated when the team left the promotion. Jump to 1996, where MFW Brass Knuckles champion The Gladiator, aka Mike Awesome, defeats Wing Kanemura in Tokyo, Japan to win the FMW Independent World Heavyweight title, unifying the top two singles titles in the promotion. And in 1997, Raw was taped in Lowell, Massachusetts at the Memorial Auditorium, with Triple H defeating Shawn Michaels for the WWF European Championship, as Michaels was also world champion, in less than 2 minutes when Michaels laid down in the ring and Hunter splashed Michaels for the win. WWF Commissioner Sergeant Slaughter had ordered the match in an attempt to break up D-Generation X by having them face each other. Also on the show, Vader, dressed as Santa Claus, attacked Goldust during a promo.
That's got to be one of my favorite Raw matches ever, just for the point in the match where Triple H just starts running the ropes and Michaels is like doing snow angels in the ring or whatever. Still hilarious.
All right, and going to do some happy trails here. But this week, normally this is my gimmick, but since we have Dog here, Dog, why don't you read some happy trails for us?
All right. Happy trails. How about to Layla? And someone's got their sound way too loud.
Jester, hot mic. Come on, Jester. Oh, my God.
Hilarious.
I'm sorry.
No problems. Layla L., the lovely, lovely Layla, actually got married to that ECW faggot, Ricky Ortiz. Congrats. They got married this past week. Think about that for a second. Pretty cool to, yeah, I know. Hey, this is a little piece of advice. Even that ECW faggot can get Layla L., so hey. Yeah.
It only took him 8 years.
Yeah, well, hey, dude, he still has her, so congrats to him. Happy trails to ECW original Hack Myers, who died at 42 from complications of brain surgery. Now, I remember him vaguely. When was he must have been really early ECW.
Yeah, 93, 94.
Yeah, scary, no doubt. And then happy trails to Sonny, who is supposed to be in court to answer charges of DUI and a suspended license, but it appears she's on vacation in Mexico. We'll see how long that vacation lasts.
If she's smart, it'll be a permanent vacation. If she's smart, she needs to just stay down there. And I don't say this to be mean, but eventually overdose, because that's what's going to happen. She's going to kill herself.
Hasn't it been like 2 years of just constant stories about her now?
Yes.
Pretty much,
Her and
yeah.
Stitch. Yep,
Yeah,
it's Sunny and what's her face? Hyatt.
Yeah,
really?
I see tons of stories about Sonny in recent years. Like, wasn't she like getting naked on cam for people?
Yes.
Yeah.
She still is.
So
We can still pay
She's
her.
also she sends panties and stuff too. She'll sell
that
her
kind of
used
thing.
panties.
like as crazy as it sounds, if she's been doing that and making a ton of money, you do have to pay taxes to do that shit. So probably not a bad idea to stay in Mexico.
She has so at a convention, just for historical purposes here, at a convention a while back, she had a fan experience, quote unquote, where you could pay $50 for her to spoon you in bed.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not saying
We covered it on this show.
the best idea she could come up with, but you're going to have to face the fact that sooner or later, an old fan is going to come up to her and say, so if that's $50, what do you want to do for $100?
Pretty much.
Probably give you herpes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And other things that can't be cured with penicillin. And some things that can. Like the clap. And syphilis.
Well, she's in Mexico.
Speaking of
Speaking of
syphilis.
getting clapped. Yep. Time for some points.
All right, starting off with the points, it's negative 272 points for NetJester for showing up because he's incapable of learning a lesson. Negative 5 points to Vassar because where the fuck have you been? And then 5 points positive to Vassar because you're still my favorite. 25 points for Dog because you're new here and I like that. Negative 50 points to NetJester for not remembering Freddie Mercury. Hope you die in a fire. Negative 20 points to Gunner for thinking that there could be too much New Day. Negative 10 points to NetJester for talking over the top of Gunner while he introduces a segment that is rude. Don't do that. Negative 10 points for calling Kalisto Magnifico. Jesus fuck man, just get it right. 15 points to Dog for the Zayn versus Owens at Mania. That just the idea sounds really cool to me. So positive points. Negative 10 points, and here we get into the birthdays. Negative 10 points for Net Jester, none other than, we've warned you. Negative 10 points, Lay Parka. He's Mexican, not French. It's La Parka. And then negative 50 points to Net Jester, because if I have to give you negative points for everything you fuck up in the birthdays, I'm going to be here all night. And then 25 points to Omega BR, because his segment is 100 times better than Net Jester's, and always makes me feel better after having to listen to the birthdays. So with that said, we have NJ with negative 412 points this episode, bringing him to a grand total of negative 34,796. Gunner with negative 20 points for the episode, bringing him down to 360. Omega BR with 25 points for the episode, bringing him up to 585. Vassar, you should have 5 to 150. I don't know why that's not showing up in the spreadsheet. And Dog with 40 points overall. That's it for the points.
I have one thing to say.
Okay.
You know what that is? Bunny
Well,
bunny cat,
hold on.
bunny cat.
There you go. All right, let's do some. What should we watch this week in wrestling? Vassar.
Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler.
What should we watch this week in wrestling from Raw? I assume. Yankum.
No, I'm going to say that match, the last match of the This Week in Wrestling History thing. That sounds awesome, so I'm going to go YouTube that.
Hey, Dog, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Not Raw. Probably ROH. That's probably better than Raw. But
Give us a match, brother.
I got nothing, dude. Well, if you're gonna watch Raw, man, at least watch that opening match. At least it had some cool spots.
That was a fucking awesome clusterfuck.
That should have been the main event right there.
That was a clusterfuck of all clusterfucks.
It was the best clusterfuck I've ever seen.
That's what we've had in years, at least.
Net Jester, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
All right, not from my video collection. I'm just going to go back recently to NXT's pay-per-view, being we had You Should Have Owens and Zayn at WrestleMania. See their first couple of matches in NXT, because those were amazing.
Very true.
Omega, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
From TLC 2012, it was 3MB.
Who remembers 3MB at this point?
It was 3MB versus Del Rio, The Miz, and the Brooklyn Brawler. Yeah, I don't remember that happening either.
Oh, good lord.
Let's see here. I think that just leaves me to suggest something to watch this week in wrestling. And what I'm going to suggest is Chikara, actually, because they just had their Top Banana show, which is about to drop this week on their download program thing, whatever they got going on over there. And apparently, what happens on the show, let's put it this way: there's a certain marching man that makes an appearance to totally complete a storyline that has been in the works since 2011. So yeah, there you go, friends. All right.
Yeah, the main event was, without spoiling, the main event was pretty crazy as well.
Yep. I'm looking forward to actually watching the whole thing of that. All right, so I think that is it. So we're gonna get into some plugs here. So Dog, I got a question for you, friend. You're not on this show just because you want to make a little debut on our little show, are you?
Well, yes and no. But yeah, I am very shortly going to be starting up a podcast of my own. So that's, I have no fucking idea for a name yet. It'll probably go nameless for a little while until I think of a good one, because I'm not going to put out a shitty name for a podcast. So, but yeah,
exactly.
Why not? We did. Worked out great.
That's an awful name. So I already considered it, and I don't think it's going to be any good. So we'll figure it out. It'll be soon.
All right, so you guys get to hear about that. You're the first to hear about it, and so we want to get into some plugs here. My name is, by the way, the name is Ripping the Skin, and ripping the skin. That's exactly what should be your name. All right. You can check us out online, smartsnark.com. This will bring you straight to our Spreaker page, which has a bunch of our episodes up on there, and you can check us live every Tuesday night around 9 o'clock, almost every Tuesday. You can also check us out online, twitter.com/smartsnark, facebook.com/smartsnark. Like, subscribe, do all of that cool stuff. Please and thank you. Go look for us on iTunes, by the way, because we just got that fixed, and all of our episodes should be on iTunes. So please help with the metrics, like, subscribe on there as well. You can also email the show, smartsnark@gmail.com. I do have confirmed for a guest potentially coming up shortly. It is another West person, so you guys can check that out. Coming up shortly here. And you guys can give us a call, 812-408-9666 or 812-408 WOO! That's right. All right, so with that being said, for myself...
Did you say Skype Serious Podcast?
Oh, yes, it's Skype Serious Podcast. All right, everybody.
SRS.
Yes,
SRS Podcast.
Yep.
Because I'm lazy. And also, I think Serious Podcast was already taken, so...
Or something like that. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Do me a favor. And we wish you well in your past, present, and future endeavors.
Woo, woo, woo. Nobody? You're just going to leave me hanging?
I'll do it. You know it.
Good night, Bay Village.